Good morning, good night, good evening, whatever time you're looking at this video. My name is Dr. Lionel Douglas, and I'm here to talk to you again about instructional design. I find it pretty lamentable that some students complete an entire instructional design course. They even receive B's and A's, and at the end of this course, they still do not know nor understand. I have just met some students in one class of mine, and they actually told me, "Sir, I passed that course, but I don't know what instructional design is. I don't know what that is for." My purpose today is to help you to understand what is instructional design. If you do not understand the concept of instructional design, it is almost impossible for you to be a good instructional designer. I want you to know and understand what instructional design is and where it fits into your career as a good instructional designer or even a teacher. So let's begin. I was traveling in my car today and I was listening to BBC radio. And on that radio, they were talking about designer babies. Now, a designer baby is a baby who has been produced because of genetic modification. It's an embryo that has been modified. So you can do some research on that. The first baby, they say, who was a designer baby was Adam Nash. His embryo was modified to produce a certain kind of baby. So a designer baby is a baby that has been produced because his or her genes were genetically modified or changed. So like a parent would go to a genetic engineer and say, "Look, I need a baby like this or like that." Now, this is similar to if you go to a seamstress or a tailor or an architect and say, "I need a house like this, or I need a shirt like this, or I need a blouse like this." And like this represents the characteristics and the attributes you want in that particular thing that you order in. So today, if you think of it, we don't only have designer babies. In fact, designer babies, really, they are the latest of a stream of different kind of designer products. We have designer bags, designer purses, designer shoes, designer clothing. And when we talk about designer, we mean that these particular products were particularly designed or created or modified or modeled after a specific set of characteristics that are desirable by a particular person or company or firm, as the case might be. So if you want a particular bag, shirt, house, food product, you can go to the designer and say, "I need an article like this," and they can make it the way you want it. And this is why I talked to you in the previous videos, that if you're designing a house, you can say what kind of house you want. And think of it. What would be the characteristics of this house? Of course, if you're describing your house that you want, you will talk about the doors, you will talk about the windows, you'll talk about the flooring, you'll talk about the roofing, you'll talk about the tiles and the plumbing and the electrical things that are being installed on the house. All of those would produce a designer house or the kind of house you want. Now, can we transfer this concept to instruction? Of course. Now, this introduces the idea of designer instruction. So it would be instruction that has been designed according to a particular set of characteristics and attributes. In other words, it is not just any other instruction. For instance, when you buy a designer bag, you expect a designer bag to have certain attributes and characteristics that have been built into the bag, that have been placed into the bag. It is not just any bag, it is a designer bag. And the people who made it knows why or what they have put in it. They have thought about a particular, maybe shopper or a particular person or a particular young woman or particular stars, maybe, you know, and what they might want in a product. They may have interviewed a number of persons to figure out what they might want in a product, and they designed this bag and then built it. So when you buy a designer bag or a designer house or a designer living room set, there are specific specifications that match the requirements of a particular group of people, and you develop that product for that particular person. So when we come to designer babies, it is the same thing. People decide the kind of baby they want, maybe tall, maybe short, maybe the blue eyes, maybe black eyes, maybe black skin, maybe, I mean, this can go very far, you know. Maybe you can look at me particularly and you want a child like me, and you can figure out or in some way say you want this person, you know, that is dark skinned and colored with a round face and whatever characteristics about me you like, and you modify the embryo to meet the needs of that particular person. Designer instruction then is to be able to modify or build or develop or put in your instruction the kind of characteristics that you know will produce good instruction. And you know, good instruction produce learning, right? So this course is about designing instruction. And when you have developed your instruction, you'll have designer instruction. In my next video, I will talk about what are the attributes that go into instruction. Just as you have attributes that go into designer products, like a designer car, you know, designer car, that is not design a car. Designer, Designer, designer car, right? Then we'll talk about what attributes go into the designing of instruction. You take care, have a wonderful time.